This is the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. Welcome to episode 100. Now let's join Kreese, Mark, and Mino as they bring you all your Defo news and talk.
Welcome, everybody. This is episode 100. It's hard to believe that we have been able to keep this up for 100 weeks, bringing you all your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia news and talk each week. Thank you, Mikey, for all the tier gift subs. Thank you so much. So many people. We were on a pre-show. I can't even count, probably 40 or so subscribers before the show. So thank you. The love is real. We're just humbled by it. We're going to talk about it later too. But this podcast, as I said in the early episode, this wouldn't exist if we didn't enjoy the game, and it wouldn't exist if this community wasn't really here. Just really, really, really just amazing. Amazing love and amazing support and just amazing people that have been involved in this. So thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Tonight we are going to do some giveaways. We have been gifted some resources, not by our subs, but also by a couple special members of our community who are here, I believe. Minyen and Anthony and Cyrus, together with some of our subs, we were able to compile 14 $25 gift cards. I can do Apple iTunes, I can do Google Play, I can do PayPal. So $25 US. We're going to give those away to 14 different people. We're going to give away 5 tonight on stream at some point. Well, I am live on air with you. We will give away 4. So don't put raffle in yet. The thing is not open. I will tell you when it's open. I will tell you what to write, and just watch out for that. If you are a sub, if you have subbed to our channel on Twitch, and you can do that by Twitch Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you get a free sub. You can do that for a couple bucks on Twitch. If you are a sub, or if you've been gifted a sub, you are going to be entered into another raffle. But then there is another, really a giveaway. If you share and like episode 100 on YouTube, on Twitter or on Facebook. So I share episode 100 on Twitter and Facebook. So like us on Twitter and Facebook. If you share episode 100, you're going to be entered into another raffle. Completely different raffles, right? If you comment on episode 100 on YouTube and like it on YouTube, I'm going to do that as its own raffle. And then we're going to have another raffle, another giveaway in our Discord. So if you join our Discord, we have episode 100 giveaway. If you just put your giveaway in there, you're going to enter into another raffle. We're going to give away several gift cards through there. So all kinds of different ways to win. I'll give that. I'll go over that again throughout the show. But thank you to Cyrus, gave us a very generous donation towards that. Minyen, Anthony gave a very generous donation for that. All of our subs, your support is just amazing. We appreciate it. But let's talk Defo news and talk. And before I do that, let me welcome my co-hosts, my good friends and yours. They're a little tired. They've been working hard today in shelter in place, but they are here because of you. First is Mino Spellgood. How you doing, Mino?
I'm doing my best, Mark. What a bad time to be having a rough day, but it's our 100th episode, so I had to show up, and I'm going to try to put energy into this, even though I'm exhausted, and I have to go back to work after this, but let's see, 2 hours. I just need to hang in for 2 hours. Let's do this.
That's right. I'm also joined by our friend Kreese, a.k.a. Zurink. How you doing, Kreese?
I'm doing a little better than Mino, but that's just because I don't have to go to work after this is all done.
Oh yeah, I'm not drinking today, so that'll be an interesting experience.
Thank you, Reckless Harlot, for the sub. Thank you, everybody. I've even lost count of all the subs tonight, so very, very generous. All of you are being awesome tonight. Really appreciate it. We're going to share back that love with some giveaways tonight and throughout the week, and just keep the hype going and just keep the love going. But we are here to talk about Defo first and foremost. So we did. Thank the Lord. We had a SQEX community stream. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Glacy. They did it from their homes. They got it figured out. Thank you to the dev team. We were not sure that we were going to get new content. Of course, if you're following Japan, the Japanese version of the game, they were not able to have new content this week. So thank the devs. Thank Joshua. He's on main court on Reddit for the work that they've been doing. So we had that stream, all the information, including the 8 million downloads campaign. We all got 8,000 gems. Those are already in your inbox right now. We also got some quality of life updates a little bit earlier than we were anticipating. So most of you have already probably played with your weapon skins. They're called weapon gloss. I was joking with 40 on stream the other day about, what gloss. He was talking about like lip gloss, and it's gloss like, the finish of furniture, but it's still kind of silly. So you can change your weapons depending on what you want them to be, any of the weapons your character has or the basic weapons. We also have a accept all for mission rewards. And it now lists everything that was offered. So, my phone is really loud there for a second. Sorry. So you can see what actually was collected, which is nice. The Memoria Theater now has cutscenes in chronological order, in case you were wondering about that. The bugs were fixed. So the bugs have now been fixed. Thank you for that. And, of course, Lightning's costume that we've already had is back available to you. Mino, did you want to share anything? Mikey, thank you again for all the gift subs. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you, CSAM, for the bits. And, some others. Mino, did you have anything about the quality of life that you want to talk about?
About the quality of life changes, I don't know. We mentioned on our unofficial stream. I'll just reiterate a few things. The 8 million downloads campaign is very generous. I'm always glad we get that alongside JP. Extra resources always nice. Love the Square Enix stream from their homes. They did a really good job, I think. And weapon gloss is something I will probably never touch, but I know a lot of people are very happy about it. So I think that's really, really good. I'm just one of those people who plays MMOs and never glamours any of their crap because I worked really hard to get those rare top drops. Might as well leave them on. And I think it's important that like visual cues in a video game, right? So people can just identify things by looking at it. I can't tell you how many times I freaked out calling in a friend Leo using a bronze axe. By the way, all my friend Leos have bronze axes now.
They gotta have.
Like it's not even, like I don't know why that's a thing. Like it's not even coordinated, but I guess everybody loved putting bronze axes on all of their characters, and I just had to double take so many times. And I know in a single player game this is a great thing, but on a little mini rant, I hate when visual cues in video games get changed up. And I know like this has been a big problem for League of Legends. If anyone plays that, you buy a skin, all of a sudden a lot of the attack particles are different. And now it's hard to identify what's coming at you and what's flying across the screen. And you have to memorize like a million different variations on it. And as somebody who plays a lot of competitive games, that gets on my nerves at times. Kreese, what do you think about the glosses?
I like them. I don't have any problems with them because, again, with the way this game is designed, you don't really care what the weapon looks like. It's not going to change or impact or distract in any way.
Yes.
And upside is that now Sephiroth and Cloud can actually use their appropriate weapons instead of using weird, quirky ones. So those were the two characters I switched first, and then I also switched Tidus to Brotherhood because he feels weird without it. And I messed around with a couple other weapon glosses, but those were the big ones I immediately did.
Yeah, and
I like it. It's something nice. It doesn't require anything special except for you to have already fully MLB'd the weapon. So it's just a nice little bonus.
Yeah, and Amons and other people were saying, "Oh yeah, but this is a single player game." Yeah, I know, I understand. I put in that. I put in that fact. It's just that I'm saying, coming from that background, I hate changing it up. So I personally probably won't be touching it at all.
Hey, Chris5258. Check out Chris. He's a fellow streamer, does great stuff. John Batista was asking a question about, if you're over 1,000 armor tokens and you go to collect armor tokens, it says maxed. do I still get those armor tokens? So it's a bug right now. So when you collect them, your collect all, it says maxed because it thinks you have 999 and that's the limit, but it still allows you to have more armor tokens. I believe we've confirmed that you do actually get the armor tokens. So just a visual bug at the moment. But I, very truthfully, the first weapon gloss I had to change was I had to give X-Death an axe because I thought it was ironic to give a tree an axe because I read a lot of Dr. Seuss growing up. Anyway, so anything else about the... I hope you're having fun with that. I'm having fun with that.
Oh, Emerald Bard is pointing at something that I forgot to mention. Some gloss weapons look weird if you use their EXs, especially ones that have kind of a different EX weapon style compared to their previous ones. Paladin Cecil is the big one. Like, he has that two-bladed weapon for his EX, but his 15 and 35 CP weapons are just normal sword. They look really weird during his EX animation.
Yes, X-Death. Yes, X-Death does need an axe. It is ironic, don't you think? Yeah, so and let us know. Hey, share in Discord if you see any kind of fun glitches in terms of bringing in weapons to different things that don't work or look kind of janky with their EX. I think that would be fun to kind of see visually or share a video about that. Well, we also got announced that there was going to be a May campaign, which was kind of exciting after a spring campaign. We just had a spring campaign, but now we have a May Faire campaign. This is going to include bonus daily login rewards, double Psycho Quest mission rewards, the double Kactuar spawn rate, the little ones with the flowers on their head, double Radiant artifacts. Goodness gracious, I'm so happy about that. And we're going to get free daily multi-draws. We're actually going to get one here in about 45 minutes every 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. my time. A free multi-draw every day with a total of 4 different banners. So there's going to be 4 different banners. The first one right now is Lilisette EX, Yuffie EX, and Vanille 1535. Can I announce what the other ones are because we've data mined them?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so they have been data mined. So the second banner is going to be King EX, Krile EX, Setzer. The third banner, which I'm super excited about, Rem EX, Fang EX, Firion. And the fourth banner, because I missed Fang EX the first time, obviously. Fourth banner is Golbez EX, Eiko EX, and Deuce. So let me read that before. Remember, you're going to have 3 chances for each banner, 3 free chances. You can pull on more if you want, I guess. The first banner is Lilisette Yuffie EX. The second banner is King Krile EX. The third banner is Rem Fang EX. The fourth banner is Golbez Eiko EX. If you're a new player, probably not necessarily banners that you're going to be pulling on besides the free pulls. But for some of us who have a lot of resources and missed a character here and there, might be worth throwing some extra things. You're just hoping that you get something on the free pull. But I believe how many total? 12 total free pulls. Multis, so at the very least you're going to get
3 per banner, so 12 total.
So I mean, at the very least you're going to get 12 power stones, but hopefully a whole bunch more, and maybe even pull an EX weapon that you didn't have. So Mino, what do you think about that? Are you excited about any of these banners? Certainly we weren't anticipating it.
Oh yeah, I mean the May campaign makes sense. This is the JP equivalent of Golden Week. They're having Golden Week right now too, and I believe so many people complained that we never got Golden Week bonuses in the past. So I guess it came to GL in form of the May Faire campaign, which is very, very nice, and I really like what they did here. So I think I forgot how they did it in Golden Week. I think it was rotating banners. Was it like a new banner every day and a free multi-pull here? This is like 4 concentrated banners. They're here a little longer. You get 3 free multis on them. And that's great because I feel like they need to do this as a regular thing for all seasonal campaigns because these are older EXs.
Yeah.
Obviously newer players or returning players would want to pick up some of their favorites instead of waiting for the LC to rerun. And giving you 3 free multis means you are much closer to a pity if you really want them. Very high chance to at least get an EX or 2 off of this 12-day run. And these EX help players without really breaking their roster. And honestly, they'll encourage pities by bringing you that much closer I think this is a really great format that they need to do regularly. I'm sure many people are pulling more, or at least considering actually dropping some gems on these banners because of how it's set up.
Just make sure not to do that until the final day of each banner, because you do get three free pulls on each banner. So, yeah,
and be sure to check in every day for the free pull. And that's also the genius of it, because everything in a gacha game should incentivize you to check the game daily. And this really does get you to check the game daily, spend more time on it, etc. So
yeah, Taz is asking me to repeat each of the banners another time, including the 35 CP. So let me do that. The first banner, what we currently have is Lilisette with her EX, Yuffie with her EX, and Vanille 1535. 1535s on every character I'm going to speak. The final character will not have their EX. Second banner, which is going to be coming up not tonight, but tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yep. King EX, Krile EX, and Setzer, 1535. Third banner, Rem EX, Fang EX, Firion, 1535. Fourth banner, Golbez EX, Eiko EX, and Deuce, 15 and 35. So decent banners with decent characters. Yeah, they're all a little older. No off banners. Yep, I believe that was said in memo as well. So you will get an on banner 1535 or EX weapon. Decent options. There's at least one good character on each of those banners. So hopefully, good luck to all of you. Hopefully you get some good pulls. But that is not the end of the May Faire campaign. We did get a Chocobo panel mission. And if you're always looking for how to complete those Chocobo panel missions the day they drop, even though you can't because of logins, our friend Macnol, MACNOL, on Reddit, he has a website called DecidiaInfo.com. And he has Chocobo guides for all of the boards, so you can figure out where those enemies are, how to get them done sooner than later. So DecidiaInfo.com and Macnol's website is the place to check that out. Let me shoot that in chat. DecidiaInfo.com is an excellent resource. So make sure you go and patronize it often, as well as some other resources that I will talk about throughout the show. But that is an excellent one. We also got a this may be gigantic co-op with the Gigantor or the Gigantor. They were talking about that on stream. How do you pronounce it, Mino? We talked about this earlier.
It's so weird because it is Gigantor.
Gigantor, yes.
But the fucking title of the event
is gigantic.
Yeah. So
this may be gigantic. You fight Gigantors.
I guess they might be talking about the pronunciation, right? This may be.
This
I
may
think
be.
Josh and Glacy spoke about this on the stream too.
Yeah.
This may be. Deafy Norse, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Yeah, what was I going to say? So every day you need to do one of these. It's a co-op fight. It's they have a little bit of HP. You can bring anybody you want. You got to do it co-op. And you get tokens for this Kactuar shop, this May Faire shop, and you get 8 tickets. So we're going to get a lot of tickets, free tickets for every day, and you're going to get the opportunity. And the shop has ingots in it as well as some other things. So make sure that you do that every single day.
There's enough nuggets for a weapon ingot and an armor ingot.
Night is Dark, Full of Terrors. Thank you for the They Might Be Giants reference. Yes, that's that Flood from They Might Be Giants is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Istanbul, not Constantinople, but that's for another thing. Yeah, so make sure you check out that and get all of that stuff and do one co-op there. Anything else about this May Faire campaign, Mino or Kreese?
I want to mention that we will be getting time-limited realization bundles, but we don't know exactly what they'll be. We'll probably come back around to that conversation at 9 p.m. when the banner or when the sales drop, so we can talk about them a bit.
Yes, it was announced that we are getting 2 72-hour special bundles, sale bundles, that will include realization materials, books, and ingots. So the first one is going to drop while we are recording at 9 p.m. my time, Central Daylight Time. So we will talk about that at 9 and tell you what that is, because I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be different than the previous 24-hour ones that we got around Christmas. So hopefully they're good. Hopefully they're affordable. And hey, if they're $25 or even $50, and we give you $25, that you'll be that much closer to pick one up. So we hope you can use those for that information. Giveaways coming sometime in the future. But before we talk about that, go ahead, Kreese, do you have something?
I was going to say, thanks for the reminder, Kreese. Really quick, before that drops, speculation-wise, I remember we wanted to discuss this. We didn't want to beat a dead horse, but I am unhappy. Well, I'm happy they brought it back, because I think I say on this podcast all the time, please, Josh, bring back bundles of books, but I'm unhappy that they're limited time again. Very limited time, I believe. 4 days each, right?
3 days each.
3 days each. Oh, fuck. And so like I don't like the time pressure aspect of it. And Josh stressed on stream to please not expect it to be the same, which makes me think they're gonna be worse.
We don't know. Let's just wait until they drop, and then we'll tear them apart.
Okay, but he did say, I believe he did say
20 minutes
the bundle will have both the weapon ingot book and the armor ingot book together. So definitely, I think, we're going to get at least a mixed bundle like that. But yeah, we can move on.
We will see when it happens. Before we talk about that, we do have the bulk of our conversation tonight around the final awakening wave, level 70. We are at level 70. So as of today, all of the characters in Defo are level 70. Every new character will be level 70. So there are no level 60 characters except characters you have not awakened to level 70. Now, it's going to be several months, even close to a year before we get level 80. So we have a whole bunch of time to live in this level 70 era now that everyone has been realized. We only had 5 characters left, so we had an uneven banner. So we had one banner that was really, really good, and of course that was the Waka Cyan banner, and then one banner that was less good, but we'll probably spend more time talking about, which had Hope, Shadow, and Lightning, all 3 of their EX weapons on that banner. So let's talk about each of these realizations. Lightning got a level 70 and an EX realization. Hope got a rework, a level 70 and an EX realization. Shadow got a rework, a level 70 and an EX realization. Yeah. So yes, we're getting questions about X Death. It was not on our schedule, but did we not talk about it last week?
I cannot remember. I thought we did talk about it last week. The general gist is that a lot of people met this challenge. It's 40 some odd different runs met the requirements.
Yeah, so let's talk about the characters, and then we can go back to the X Death challenge later. So yeah, we're happy to help with that and share that. And of course, you can go to Dissidia Info and see it yourself too. And we do have the TCC challenge for this current event. But let's talk about these characters because that's what's kind of the news of the day. And let's start with Lightning. Kreese is going to go over just a brief what they got, and then we'll talk about our experience with them.
So just as a reminder, Lightning got a rework last year, and only thing she got with this banner was her EX realization and a 70 awakening. So briefly, what she gets with her 70 awakening is a new additional ability called Break Reset Slash. It's 2 brave hits followed by canceling break status on the target, which is really nice for Lightning because it basically allows her to set up a break to get a free turn whenever she wants. It's pretty nice. I've been using it quite a bit to do that. She has 3 uses of it if you bloom it, so plus there. Her EX realization is where her real power comes from. If you fully realize her, which you should if you want to use her for things going forward, she gains the ability to inflict Thunder Resist down. She deals more brave damage because she has more brave hits with Army of 1 now. A lot more brave hits. She actually does the Golbez thing. Garland thing, sorry, not the Golbez thing, the Garland thing where she gains brave between each HP hit, so she hits pretty hard. She starts with her EX buff, and she starts with a charged EX basically. One ability use is enough to get it set up. So Oh yeah, and she has a free turn at the beginning of combat to set up her stances. What this basically does is it turns her into a breaking monster. One other thing I forgot to mention is that Army of One now unbreaks the target before it does any hits. So Lightning will always get a free turn after using Army of One. She can set up her own free turns by using her additional ability, and she hits pretty hard with all of her things going on. I think her big downside continues to be that she only has 3 brave hits on her 2 abilities, Spark Strike and Flourish of Steel, and she can burn through abilities fast if you're not careful, because despite all the free ability uses she gets from her EX, she takes a lot of turns between the free turns and her high turn rates. But she is pretty strong right now, in my opinion, based on experimenting with her. Mino, do you have thoughts you want to put in?
Oh, too many thoughts, so I'm gonna break it up. I can't do one long rant this time, especially since I know Mark wants to chime in. But this whole banner, characters going in, and exactly what you were talking about is I feel like it needs to be tackled from 2 different perspectives, from newer players and veteran players, because I feel like these are amazing characters. They're fun and they have a lot of use. But personally, I didn't invest in any fully. No, I did invest in Hope, but I'll talk about that later. But I feel like if you have been a progression player up to this point, you don't need any of these to really bolster your roster. That being said, let's dive into Lightning. First is let's update with the news. Lightning, we have a post fixed Lightning from what we've been speculating this whole time. Basically, there was a turn rate error, and I think we saw it a bit early in GL too, where abilities were shifting. Oh, we did kind of see it. We kind of got it with like Seymour and Beatrix, etc., and Terra when you're using skills, like their turns would shoot up and then shoot back, and then they'd move around. There was some bug with the visual display of that. In JP, when Lightning's rework launched, for some reason, her abilities were being counted as slower than they were without actually being slower. So her EX was charging marginally faster. So it was at full stacks, it was an ability and an HP plus, or 2 abilities flat maximum to get it. Now it's slightly slower with being under the same circumstances. You out of synergy, you need 2 abilities and an HP plus to hit the recharge. But basically, this only matters because of Lightning's ability to solo difficult fights, which I will lead into and pass to Mark really quickly. Basically, Lightning had the ability to solo some insanely hard fights by herself because with the EX refreshing much faster, she had more free turns, more free ability uses, and much more delays. So that certain fights like Alexander Chaos, which is one of the most difficult fights we have coming up, she could solo because the boss never got a turn, basically, if you played it right. So we had a lot of our friends like Soul DFFOO and Vane Novus of the Tonberry Troop extensively test this out. She still can solo the entropy tiers that she could in JP, which are like 1 and 4, and I think there was another in there, but those were the most tested ones. It took significantly more effort and more resets, and it was much more dangerous, but they managed to pull it off. Whether she can do the harder fights coming up, like Alexander Chaos on her own, remains to be seen, because she's barely passing the ones she's reportedly able to do now. But Mark, why don't you tell us your thoughts on soloing entropy tiers?
Yeah, I'm going to share the Tonberry Troops website, tonberrytroop.com. Vane Novus under the Lightning infographic. He has a whole workup on how he soloed whatever he soloed with. Was it tier 4 with Lightning?
Yeah, he did tier 4.
Yeah, we've done several. And read that. So here's the thing. This is an interesting banner. Now, I pulled on this banner. I got all 3 EXs on this banner. I purpled all 3 EXs. They're good. I like them. They're powerful. They're not necessarily things you can't live without, but they're awesome. It's an awesome banner. They're fun characters to play. But if you're pulling on a banner to get a character to solo, realize it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of patience, and you have to be very, very good. It's not something, now there are some exceptions with characters that can cheese some content by themselves, but it's still usually not real easy. Shadow can solo content. Inkwelder shadowed tier 9 of Entropy with Shadow today. It took him 40 resets to do it. Because
hours too.
Yeah, well, and yes, many hours, but 40 resets because he had to rely on the RNG not hitting Shadow's 70% evasion. So again, takes a long time. 45. Yeah, reset. It was a mess. 40 hours. Yeah, no, 45 resets for over 40 resets. So, yeah, Lightning again. Read Vayne Novus's walkthrough of how to solo Entropy tier 4 with Lightning, and then see if that is the kind of player you are. If you have the patience, the skill, the understanding of the character, and you're willing to invest a ton of resources in one character to sit by themselves on one tier, if that's worth it to you, or if you just really like to do it. I mean, it's a super good challenge, and it's really cool and a lot of fun. If you enjoy that, do it. But if you're a new player and you're like, oh, I really need a character to sit in here because I haven't completed Dimension's End, this may not be the best path, especially if you're a newer player. It's really, really hard. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of understanding. Lightning's a great character, but compared to the other breakers, Aranea, Leo, Delayers, Breakers, Vayne, characters that are kind of damage dealing characters. I have turn manipulation, that have break mechanics, King even. She is probably the hardest to play of any of them. And the hardest to play well, because you really have to kind of understand her movements, when she needs to do what. She doesn't automatically get all the stacks of her stances, so you have to switch between stances and realize how to switch between stances to give the upgrade version of her skill 1 and 2, and make sure you're in the right stance before you hit her EX. Make sure you're attacking the right characters who are broken or not broken. Make sure your other characters are not breaking or unbreaking characters at the right time. So she's a really fun character to play if you are a skilled player. You can probably play with her fairly well if you're newer to the game, because she does a lot of utility and you can mess up a lot with her, and she's a little forgiving. But to play her well, you really do need to be really skilled. And so that's my only concern about Lightning, to really play her well. Yeah, we're not doing the giveaway yet. I'll let everybody know when to do it, and what to say and what to type in chat when it's there. So, yep. So I mean, I said I like every character on this. Lightning is the hardest to use. I like that kind of kit. I like that kind of character. So, yeah. Mino, what else were you going to say about Lightning?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it back. I've got such mixed feelings about Lightning, because I think she's really great. Lightning is a character I use in every iteration, except for this one I might pass on. And I've seen what she gets with LDBT and JP, and it's all really fun stuff. But right now, I feel like there's a lot of alternatives for me. If we want to talk about single target DPS, we're getting a lot of options. And right now, I don't like RNG. I like having things set. So Vayne and Leo feel pretty good. And then, of course, there's always Aranea. The thing with Lightning is, in casual play, her RNG speed really doesn't make a difference. And I'll talk about why her speed is RNG in a second. But if you're trying to really push the limits and try to do solos or like carry, you really need to learn the speed mechanics. And speed is like the most obscure stat in this game. And there's a random element to it. And the problem is she's got every little thing she has affects her turn rate.
Yeah.
Her abilities have different turn rates. Her passives really fuck up her turn rates, especially her C50. If you want to solo, you have to remove specific passives. When she gets enough stacks on her stances, that also changes the action, the turn rates. And then her EX has different turn rates depending on the normal version or the plus version. This is not even factoring in what your team comp is bringing. If you're bringing Shiva or if you're bringing Leviathan, that messes with speed. If you have speed debuffs on the enemies, every little factor will change how her turn jumps from a turn-to-turn basis. Like with other characters like Noctis and Vayne, when you press a button, you know exactly, at least when they're turn jumping, you know where their turn's going to be. Lightning, you have no idea, and this is so true. If you're playing a lot of the recent co-ops, people will start spamming abilities and summon just to try to see how many turns they can get in a row, and it's never for sure. It varies a lot depending on the team comp. You got Hopin there messing with the speed too. It's, and then that can lead to burnout for her. Depending on how it's so hard to build around a hidden stat, basically. With that being said, though, she finally gets rebreaks to her kit with the EX Plus and her AA, which make it very valuable. I think a lot of people were talking about, let's pair X Death with Lightning to give her all the breaks. Well, I think now, just like Aranea, she doesn't really need to, because she can set up her own breaks, which I think is a very cool addition to her kit. I like that utility.
And remember,
too.
that the AA ability is really nice. And remember, you can use your free ability with the AA to give yourself an extra AA.
I'm just going to quickly step in and answer a question. I think it'd be good to have this on the podcast vocally. SZA DFFOO asked, can't you hold Lightning skills to see where she'll end up? No, you can't, because her turn rate is conditional upon whether she's hitting a broken target, breaking a target, and that causes her turns to jump around. There's a reason she was known as the turn stealer early on, because you can't really predict where she ends up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, I forgot. That also affects her stupid turn rate, too. Whether she's hitting a broken target, breaking a target, not breaking a target. Like, every little thing changes where she's going to shoot. And holding the button does not factor that in. Doesn't factor in turn rate. Or the changes of all the variations factoring in. So it is really, really fucking difficult to see. So, I mean, I feel like she plays very similar to Vayne, as in massive single target DPS with a lot of breaks and delays if you need it. The thing is that she trades free consecutive turns and reliable rebreaks for Thunder Elemental specialization and pure speed. So instead of relying on the breaks to keep the enemies locked down, it's her own speed that keeps getting pushed up that locks down the enemy.
Well, she does get free turns and consecutive turns and free ability use too. So I mean, she does get all of that in her kit, and so. But yeah, I mean, they play a little differently. Calling them the same character would be kind of silly, but her and Aranea and Vayne, I mean, they all have some, and even Leo, they have some similar mechanics amongst the three of them. They're not all carbon copies of each other, but she does. I think she plays better with characters who can't break as easy. Vayne is not as dependent on characters who can't break, or Aranea is not even as dependent on that because her skill 2 always unbreaks the target. So Lightning really does play well with characters like X-Death or characters who might be a support who really don't have a lot of break potential. Pinello comes to mind, right? Although she can break if she needs to. But a lot of Brave Shave. She does really play well off of those characters who don't bring a lot of Brave Shave to the party and don't break enemies, because then you can get those consecutive turns and do that. And she also plays well with HP regen and Brave Up. So there's some talk about her artifacts in terms of whether it's attack 108 obviously, but in terms of whether it's better to have the Int Brave or the Max Brave or maybe a mixture of both. So we're just gonna kind of wait and see what
right now the
out.
recommendation is, if you want the best artifacts to use with her right now, Int Brave is the better secondary. However, in the future, Max Brave will be the better secondary. Attack's always the best primary.
Yep, attack's always the best primary.
Chat's bringing up a ton of good points. I don't want to spend forever on Lightning. I know she's a super popular character. People are going to pull her. They like her playstyle. But Chat is saying she burns through buffs like crazy because of her speed. That is something to take into effect. Any buffers with short durations.
That actually, I've tried running Lightning and Vayne in the same group. Vayne burns through buffs faster still.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. That's good to know. But you can kind of control his burst, right? I don't think you can control Lightning's burst as well.
Well, if you suck it up and press the wrong button, you can.
Anyways, my final conclusion on Lightning is she's a very solid character, very special. I didn't say she's the same character as Vayne. I say they're from the same family. Right,
Yeah.
right. And which is very single target focused. The Thunder specialization is something to keep in mind. And melee with rebreaks and delays and free skills for longevity or burst. I don't know. I think she's
Dark
great.
Demon's reminding me of something I forgot to mention. Lightning's EX extends buffs once you realize it by one turn.
Yeah.
That's the reason she's not chewing through them as fast as Vayne.
Yeah. For me, I think I recommend Lightning to many people if you really need a single target DPS, and a lot of people do, because a lot of people are skipping DPSs to pull on supports. So I think Lightning is a good addition.
Yeah.
I just personally did not invest just yet. And this whole podcast, this whole episode, I'm sure there's a good chance I'm going to be eating my words for a lot of these comments. But for right now, I'm not investing in Lightning because I feel like I have alternatives, and I don't need to just yet. I have my entropy tiers planned. I have several single target melee DPS in mind. And of course, she does work amazing with Leo. I thought about a Leo Vayne Lightning team, but I just, ingot shortage, right? Yeah. What are you going to do? There's just so many characters coming up. I got to make the cut somewhere here. Kreese, do you have any follow-up to this?
Lightning is strong, in my opinion. I mean, her biggest weakness right now is that she just needs some support to help prop up her HP damage because she's capped at 3 brave hits for her abilities. So outside of her EX, she doesn't do a lot of damage per action taken, but she makes up for that by having a lot of free actions. She's not necessary. And if you've already gotten a powerful single target DPSer lately, and you're like, well, do I just want another damage dealer, or do you need more damage dealers? Then she's good. But if you're running like Leo and you still haven't blocked him into Dimension's End, Leo is very strong still. And I don't think Lightning brings anything that you're going to be missing out on if you skip her. I think it's the best way to put it.
Oh, one more thing. Sorry, there's such a debate between Lightning versus Leo and Vayne. And here, one more thing I feel like we should at least put on the podcast is Vayne and Leo have AoE options. Lightning has none, is what's being discussed in chat right now. Yeah.
And Leo and Lightning synergize well, and Vayne and Lightning synergize well, too. I mean, you probably don't want all 3 of them on one team, but, well, maybe. We'll see. Lightning might not be hitting, but there's pretty decent buffs, decent auras there. Hush2113, thank you for the subscription with Twitch Prime, one of my favorite Batman stories, Hush. But, yeah, I mean, I only had Sephiroth purple, Tifa purple, Leo purple, King purple, so I really felt like I needed another single target.
You didn't purple Vayne?
Vayne does some AoE. Vayne purple. I have a lot of purples. So yeah, I felt like I needed to purple her. She's fun to play. I mean, and if you like the character, you're gonna purple her. You should purple her if you like the character. You're gonna use her. She's great. And if you don't like any of them, that's fine. You don't have to have them. She's not. She's not. No one's really necessary, but she's good at what she does. So she will get locked out of, Imperil, Thunder Absorb, and Melee Absorb, so melee resistant. So yeah, but
yeah, I can't enchant her. That's a thing to keep in mind.
Yep. So she is out of some other content where some other characters may not be. That brings us to who's number 2, Hope or Shadow? Hope. Yeah, you want to walk us through Hope, as Lightning really didn't get a rework, but these next 2 guys did.
Yeah, both Hope and Shadow got reworks, plus 70 awakenings, plus new EXs that they never had before, plus realization. So they get a lot of stuff. Hope, let me just quickly go through what his rework brings him. Hope gets basically these Pinello treatment for his abilities. They are now, one is instant turn rate, one is high turn rate. They do not increase turn count, they just stick buffs on, and he doesn't waste turns buffing himself. His Brave and HP Plus were also improved so that they hit a little harder. He provides party battery with the Brave and HP plus, and he has an additional ability which actually reduces party HP damage taken while it is active. So that's pretty nice. The last thing that happened is that Hope's Shell and Protect buffs, the magic damage resist and the physical damage resist, became framed buffs, so they will not be dispelled easily anymore, and they won't be pushed off, which is nice. But the big thing that happened to Hope is that he got a new EX ability. And the EX ability is pretty simple if you look at it, just what the ability is. It's a fast-charging last resort. AoE Brave plus HP damage, does full damage, batteries allies, and heals the party's HP. However, it also gives Hope a new mechanic called Entrusted Hope, where he basically gets stronger based on the number of party buffs that are active. He needs at least 13 total party buffs active in order to reach max stacks, and once that happens, he gets a nice 60% self-attack bonus, 30% increased overflow in all of his abilities, and a max brave up 40% boost. I also forgot to mention that with his rework, he also gets party auras from his passives, so he provides a much more reasonable attack and max brave bonus now. If you realize his weapon, he gets access to better Brave Plus and HP Pluses that basically become stronger attacks. His Brave Plus 8 Brutal Sanction becomes an AoE Brave attack that batteries the party based on his attack. And his HP Plus becomes Retributive Blast, which no longer batteries the party based on damage dealt, but it hits harder, it deals HP splash damage, and it can inflict defense down if the target's broken. And then he gets the other nice stuff, some increased party auras if you realize his weapon, stronger last resort, starting with buffs active on the party, so nice things. Last thing to keep in mind is that because it's been a while since anyone's ever touched Hope, he does have a special thing. One special thing about Hope is that he extends buff durations on allies whenever he buffs them. So keep that in mind. He has the Eiko / Yuna ability where he can extend buffs, which is nice for characters like Vayne who have very short acting buffs that are very strong. Most of Hope's auras are from just passives. He does, however, have a generic speed buff that he gives the party. So he gives 3 buffs to his allies and 4 buffs to himself. Just keep that in mind. So that's it. He does a lot now. He's a weird mix of an offensive and defensive support. He reduces damage substantially with his buffs, but he also is designed to hit much harder with his Brave Plus and HP Plus abilities. So, Mino, what do you have to say about Hope?
Okay, so, I thought I was going to get jumped on by chat for that Lightning review, but apparently everyone's fighting with each other instead, so that's a good sign. It means, there's a lot of discussion to be had. These are complicated characters. So let me push the envelope now by saying I 3-3'd Hope, and I regret it for now. I am 100% ready to eat these words in a month or two. But after having extensive discussions with the other content creators and my friend Hitmonchan, so I feel like he does a little bit of everything a support should decently well. He heals on his EX decent amount. He batteries a decent amount out of synergy. I don't know why I thought it would be higher outside of synergy, but it's just consistent. Everything he does except for the HP plus batteries a bit. So it's very consistent. It's free turns and everything. And like you said, very comparable to how Penelo plays, but a lot more HP plus spam. Personally, I just find his kit to be boring. I know that's going to piss off people in chat. I know a lot of people are saying Hope's really fun. I find his kit to be very boring, but the main thing he brings right now is damage reduction. You pull on Hope if you want that damage reduction. It is 60% damage reduction on Brave attacks, magic attacks, and help me out here, Kreese. How much on the AA for HP attacks?
It's a 40% damage reduction if you bloom it.
Right. So basically, it's chunky damage reduction across the board. Here is the thing, though, that I'm probably going to be dragged over the coals for is I at least where we are right now, it is very unnecessary. I might regret these words 2 months down the line, but also Hope has so much competition this month alone for what he does, which is basically reduce damage taken by the party. You've got Porum coming Sunday, who does the same thing, reduced HP damage with shield with overheals. You've got Snow coming in. The only reason to pull for Snow is reduced Brave and HP damage taken by the party. You got Aerith, kinda, heals and revives if you really just want to get through content with reductions. And it's just that with so many options, I regret having picked Hope because I feel like the other three coming are more my playstyle, more fun for me. And I don't feel like I'm going to be I'm not somebody who worries about having top meta to clear content, just a good enough roster that you have options to get through it. Like, I don't think Hope is going to make or break your content completion. So for me personally, I wish I had held off these ingots for one of the other 3-4 supports coming in. Throw Ramza on that list. That's just so many ingots to purple, all these people coming up. And I have him slotted in my entropy, not even as the main healer. His heals aren't good enough to carry. I think they're almost Rosa level. I think I'm going to get yelled at for that.
Ooh.
But that being said, free turns is great. The damage reduction is amazing if that's really your cup of tea. That's just his big selling point. And
Hope, or Heaven, is also mentioning in chat that Hope is a very newbie-friendly safe pick because he's very easy to use. His kit is simple. His buffs last a long time. He batteries decently well, not amazing because it's all based on his attack stats. He heals. He reduces brave damage taken. He does a lot for what his kit is. It's a simple kit, and it's not very interesting, but it works very well.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's a strong pick. I'm just saying, like, we also have alternatives this very month. For me, as always, I'm not telling people how to pull, but just for me personally, I wish I had used these ingots for Porum coming up. Honestly, I like Porum's playstyle. I'm sad that I chose Hope over her for the ingot investments, but Hope is very.
You have to be careful about in terms of grading Hope's healing ability because he's the only support character right now that's bringing damage reduction in the same way pure support. Right. So I mean, he's reducing incoming brave and potentially HP when you need it. So his healing's going to carry you. I mean, he is one of the best supports for a reason. He does everything a support needs to do, and that's the difference between Hope and coming up this month, Aerith, Ramza, who else? There's another support this month that I'm forgetting. Porum. Porum's pretty good, actually.
And Snow.
Snow is not a support. Snow's a tank. But
tanks are supports.
No, they're third slot characters. We've had this conversation. But for that pure support character, I mean, you have characters like Rosa who, she heals, she batteries, she supplies the support, the aura, the buffs. And that's kind of what a pure support is. Do they provide the auras, the buffs? Do they battery? Do they allow you to have some healing, some defensive ability, some things like that? And so, I mean, Rosa, Y'shtola, Penelo, Hope, I mean, they are kind of the top 4 supports for the time being. Although there are some other ones who are incredible. Obviously, Rem is one that I've missed that I would like, who from time to time is incredible. We are getting Aerith and Ramza, but, Ramza doesn't heal.
Someone
Aerith
in chat
has some
is
problems.
mentioning Beatrix does defense buff and healing. Mino, do you want to talk about the difference between defense increases and brave damage reduction and how one benefits more than other in certain circumstances, or should we just leave that for later?
I can do it really quick. Basically, it's the same difference between attack and increased brave damage, which is basically it's sort of a win more mechanic. It'll snowball one way more or the other. So, for example, brave reduction will reduce more at the end of the day if the attacks are hitting high. Shit, that's a bad. Let me use this with crits. Crits do more damage if your attack is high enough. Like, okay, so if oh my god. Okay, fuck it. Okay, so Kreese, do you know what I'm trying to say? Maybe you can be more eloquent on this subject right now. 'Cause we've discussed it.
Basically, as attack gets higher, defense matters less because defense is kind of a linear scale. You're either doing damage or you're not, and if your defense is not high enough to really reduce damage, it doesn't really matter how high your defense can get. Brave damage reduction will always remove a flat a percentage of damage taken, regardless on the enemy's attack. If the enemy was going to do 10k damage, you'll take 4k damage instead, regardless on where your attack or defense stat is. Basically, brave damage reduction scales in a more useful manner as stats go up and up, in my opinion.
Yeah, it like you said, that's the perfect way to put it. Attack and defense scale linearly, and the brave damage reduction and increase scales quadratically.
Sorry for cutting you off with that long discussion, Mark. Do you want to finish up your thoughts?
Hope's great. You press buttons and he does things. I don't have any idea what the two of you were just talking about. But you're talking about Beatrix, and I mean, Beatrix and Hope potentially work together. You have to be careful about buff management with your third slot. But both are characters who add different things, and both are characters that rely on a number of buffs and offer a lot of buffs too. So but they do different things, right? So.
Oh, yeah. And one more thing people are discussing in chat is if you're on the fence, a 1/3 Hope does his job very, very well. So he is a very good budget investment. There's a lot of clears on record for entropy tiers with just a 1/3 Hope. So, that's a very big plus thing is there's very few budget characters at this late into chaos stage. And I think
there is some comments in chat about me hating Hope. And if you've listened to the podcast long enough, I do hate Hope with a passion. I think he's the worst. That being said, my hate for Hope is very different than my hate for Palom and Porum. So I hate Palom and Porum. They're the worst as well. And I will never pull on them because I hate them. I can't stand to look at them. I don't like their characters. I never liked them in the game. And Final Fantasy IV is one of my favorite games. They are the two characters from that game I absolutely despise. Hope, I also hate, but Hope brings me a joy because I enjoy the suffering that he experiences in Final Fantasy 13. It's like watching, I don't know if you've ever watched like American Idol. It's like watching American Idol and seeing those idiots, those kids who are like, I'm going to be the greatest singer, and they're just terrible. That it brings you like this certain satisfaction. So that's why I love Hope, because he brings me joy, but I also hate him because he's the worst. So Willie Wallop, thank you for the subscription, 2 months.
That being said, if you go back deep enough into our archived episodes, Mark did used to say that he will never pull on Hope, no matter, even if he becomes #1 character in the game. And he's clearly gone back on that. So here's the homework assignment, guys. If you guys can find that episode and that quote, let me know so I can put that up.
Clip it. Prove it. I pulled Hope because I wanted to watch his mom die. Yep. Yeah, well, that's my favorite scene. Spoilers. Final Fantasy 13, the final scene of the movie. The final scene of the game where he's looking back and realizing that his family's all dead.
Kreese, do you have any last thoughts, or are we ready to move on to the next one?
Let's move on to
Shadow.
The best
and
character
after we discuss Shadow, we'll talk about the realization bundle that just dropped.
Oh, good.
All right, sounds good. Oh, and don't forget the AAs and stuff that the last two characters get.
Yeah,
too,
really,
right?
we really need to know Waka.
I mentioned their additional abilities.
Okay, we're good then.
Okay, so Shadow, similar to Hope, got reworked kit plus EX plus level 70. So rework basically gave him 1 billion abilities. In total, he has 21 ability uses between Shadow Stealth and Wild Throw. That is a lot. Shadow Stealth now has multiple brave hits, along with its brave gain, its batteries, it can overflow. His generic evasion buff got turned into a framed buff called Fade to Black, which gives him 60% dodge and an increase to speed. Wild Throw now hits a lot harder. I don't think the brave damage is random anymore. It's now fixed brave damage, right, Mino?
Fuck. I'm not sure. Is it fixed now? I didn't see that on the
I'm
rework
not sure.
table.
I can't tell.
Did you?
And
I'll do
didn't
research
pull
right
check,
now.
so I don't know.
I'll do the research while you keep talking.
Second thing is that Wild Throw, it does 2 HP hits. He does gain Brave between the HP hits, so he deals more damage than you would predict. He has a nice generic max Brave. His Brave attack becomes Throw after using Wild Throw, which ignores defense and deals some Brave hits. And his additional ability is Set Evasion Up, which gives him a 100% dodge chance for 3 turns.
Oh,
and you can get up to 3 uses of it.
To cut in, chat is confirming that you are right. It is fixed damage now, no longer RNG. I guess it's only a matter of time before they treat Kate Sith's EX the same way and eventually walk as buffs. Because I think every couple of months they're realizing maybe people don't like RNG in the kits.
Walker's buffs is silly, but I don't think that's changing. Anyways, Shadow also gets a new EX ability called Shadow Fang. It's on a slow recast, and it's a basic single target Brave plus HP attack with some Brave Overflow. However, it does give him a new effect called Wild Fang. While Wild Fang is active, he gets a reduction in Brave damage taken and an increase in his max Brave. But the big kicker for Wild Fang is that anytime Shadow dodges an attack or uses any of his skills, including his EX, he triggers an additional attack called Wild Fang, which deals Brave plus HP damage. So basically, Shadow starts doing a lot more Brave and HP hits once he has his EX up. If you realize his weapon, his EX ability gets better. He gets a nice boost to attack and max Brave. Shadow Fang ignores defense. He starts with Intercept up from the start of fight, so he doesn't have to wait to build up his EX first. And he gets an HP plus Throw ability, which basically ignores defense and deals a couple of Brave hits. All in all, he just basically becomes kind of like 8 in the fact that he becomes kind of a dodgy attacker. Downside is that he cannot dodge 100% of the time. He only has a 60% chance to dodge unless he uses his additional ability, but that stacks with like the Shiva Ramu evasion, so his evasion's actually a little higher than that. Just keep that in mind that he will not dodge all attacks, so be careful. Don't let him take hits, or you're going to be resetting a lot if you're trying to intentionally get him to dodge everything that's thrown at him. I did not actually pull Foreshadow specifically. As soon as I got Hope's EX, I backed out of the banner. So I'll let Mino and Mark talk about him in more practical use.
Okay, did you build him, Mark?
I have all 3 of them purple. All 3 of these.
Really? Okay. Yep. Then correct all my biases as I go into this.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and you're stupid. And Shadow is the best.
There's nothing wrong with Shadow. Very solid single target range damage. Very, very solid. But who said this? I wanna credit Strafer Jin Lee, who is saying that the RNG in his kit used to be in Wild Throw. Now it's in the 70% evasion, because whether or not he gets targeted and dodges and counters is really going to affect how much damage he outputs in a given fight. His whole gimmick is that everything he does ignores defense, just like Cyan, and that can be very useful, I think. I said in the unofficial stream, Ink has showed me how amazing ignore defense can be in the right situations. We were using X Death's fight. My characters were hitting for nothing, and Sabin was hitting for max damage every hit because of ignore defense. So, I mean, if ignoring defense is a gimmick that interests you, go for Shadow. He can probably do those final bursts to assassinate low health targets, which is, pretty fitting to his theme. There's just not much else to say other than his RNG dodge. The other thing is that if you were pulling Lightning for her solo ability, Shadow is right up there. Shadow can solo up to tier 9 of entropy. Many
Shadow,
more tiers.
Shadow can do tier 10 as well. It's
Tier
not
10.
It's not as easy.
Like,
I did see a tier 10 solo with Shadow.
yeah, it's like 7. Well, to put an
3,
asterisk on that.
7. There's a whole bunch. But it's real hard. Don't think
Asterisk on the 10. He needs character boards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need.
So
the
current one
boards.
won't be able to do it on release.
Yeah.
But he can do what 6 or 7 of the first 10 tiers, which is pretty amazing.
Vayne Novus soloed the current chaos with him. Yeah, he can do this. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Right, now here's the kicker. The solo relies on how many times that 70% dodge chance kicks in. To quote many people here, 70% chance sounds high on paper, but when you rely on it, it's really, really tough. So just to give the same comparison, Selfie's debuff evasion is 70%. So just think about how many times Selfie screwed your run because she couldn't block all of Marlboro's runs, and decide for yourself if you want to rely on that much RNG. So we brought up Ink's many resets and his long hours put in, and then of course chat chimed in with a ton of different opinions, and of course there's differing opinions because of RNG, because some people said they gave up. They tried for a few hours or a few dozen attempts and said this wasn't worth it. And then Infamous Element said, it didn't take me that long. Well, yeah, because it depends on how many times the 70% procs. You can get really, really lucky.
Infamous Element is making the exact same point that I was going to make. The evasion is, for Edge and 8, the evasion is the whole of their kit. For Shadow, the evasion is the cherry on the sundae. It's just an extra thing that he does. His damage output is significant. He is an excellent secondary damage dealer. He's not doing a lot of other things, but the kind of HP output that he can do, the damage per turn that he can do, the number of skills. He's very easy to play, very simple to use. And he has this awesome mechanic where 70% of the time he can miss a hit, and even if it's AoE, miss a hit and do additional damage. Continuously breaking targets, brave shaving like nobody's business. He's a really solid character. He's really simple to play. He doesn't take big brain stats to play. I'm surprised how many people I saw in terms of content creators and other people who pulled for him. He really, I was not expecting people to pull for him, but he really is a solid choice. Is he the best character? Is he Aranea levels? No, but he is really, really solid, really, really good at his role, damage dealing, and he has this dodge mechanic, evade mechanic on top of it. So yeah, I love him. He's been, of the 3, he's the funnest to play for me, I feel. Lightning's really fun to play, but she's much more complicated, much more thoughtful. I really like, every once in a while to have a very simple character. Like King, in my mind, is a very simple character, really super easy to play. He's really easy to play, really super fun to play. You can do a lot with his kit without too much problem. So yeah, I'm really having fun with all 3 of these characters. I think it's a great banner. I'm glad I was able to snag all 3 EXs with minimal damage to my life. And yeah, I'm sure, seeing as I'm not really going to do anything else this month with characters or pulls, I'm sure I will use all 3 of them on something.
I know I agree with you. I'm not trying to say he's a bad character, and people in chat are fighting again over the RNG. Even the content creators are fighting over how much the RNG matters. And you're right, solidly on his own, he does great damage. It's just that his damage output can vary depending on the dodges he gets. That's what it is. It's just a wild variation on minimum maximum damage. Yep. So people are saying, you can treat that as a bonus, or you can be insane and work around it like other people have done with other characters.
Yeah,
right?
you can reset till you're blue in the face, and solo tier 10 if you want. You might, solo tier 9. You might kill yourself doing it. Drive yourself crazy, but it's possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to say that I think the potential for Ignore Defense and Enchant Imperil can be pretty big. And he,
Yeah.
of course, he has a ton of Brave Dumps. So I think he has potential to be a fun, gimmicky character, but as you said, not a first slot DPS pick, but very, very solid regardless. Kreese, do you have anything to add? And can I introduce the bundle as well?
Yeah, let me just put in my last word. I think Shadow's really strong right now. His big problem is that, as you guys mentioned, the fact he can't 100% evade means that you can get screwed by bad luck sometimes, and that never feels good. But he is a monster when he does work.
Well, Slide,
Yeah.
compared to Laguna, he is very, very powerful.
I was gonna say that, Mark. Of course, Slide says he's the first
Slide on your teams. Of course,
because his other DPS is Laguna.
We got to give out a shout out to Slide, who's always doing creative runs with Final Fantasy VIII characters.
Yes,
and
shout out to Slide.
love Final Fantasy VIII. So I'm glad you're doing those characters proud, Slide.
I also promised Eamon a shout out because he was ramming his head against Demon Wall with Seymour, even though it was a magic resist fight. And then he kept failing, and he blamed the bug that pushed Seymour's turn back 2 turns after every S2. And I think there was some pushback, but once that bug got fixed, he cleared it no problem with Seymour. So
hey, the Broadway saying thanks for the
hats off
host,
to
and thanks for the stopping by. If you don't know Broadway, he is great. Really, he started before we did. He was doing Devo content before we started 100 episodes ago. So check out Broadway on Twitch and on YouTube. Does great content. We enjoy. He's just the nicest guy in the world too. So yeah.
Okay, and it looks like that ingot bundle has finally dropped, but they made an error and replaced a weapon book and a weapon ingot with a armor book and an armor ingot. So hopefully they get that fixed ASAP, but it seems to be exactly the same as the Black 5-Stale bundle, other than that minor difference.
Yeah, so it's one of each book and one of each ingot. 5,000 gems. Here in the United States, it's $41.99, so the same price. So as it is, knowing that that's not a mistake, that was intentional. As it is, what do you think? So you have 3 days to do this. It's going to be twice. So all in all, last month you could have gotten 4 ingots with some power stones and armor upgrade material or weapon upgrade materials. So 4 ingots total weapon ingots. This month you can get 2 books of each type and 2 ingots, which does equal 4 ingots total, for about the same price. So the 4 ingot packs were $80, about $80 for 4 ingots and some power stones and 12,000 gems. Now, if you buy these 2, it's going to be $80, 10,000 gems, 2 of each book and 2 of each ingot. So, I mean, price-wise, they're competitive to what they were. It's going to be harder for people to buy these because they are more expensive than maybe just the 1 ingot pack. I do like having the book and the ingot with it. So
I hate it. I'm drowning in books. I don't have enough ingots. At this
So you're
rate,
telling me you're not going to buy it?
no, I think I'm going to pass because at this rate, I think I would rather buy the $20 ingots. Honestly, for the same price. Well, no, for $2 less, I would get. How many gems come with the ingot bundle?
300 each.
That's it? 300 gems?
3,000.
3,000. There you go. Okay, so for $2 less, I'm getting 1,000 more gems and 2 ingots instead. And I'm not paying premium for less gems and an armor book and ingot. I was hoping it'd be the same as a Black 5's Day, but at this point, fuck it. I'm not buying these.
Literally said it wasn't going to be the same. On
But
stream.
I didn't think
He
it
said
would
it
be
wasn't going to
shit.
be the same. I believe I said that it's likely from the picture going to be 1 of each book and 1 of each ingot. So
And Joshua mentioned on stream it
This
would
is
not
exactly-
be the same.
this is
Yeah,
exactly
but
what
I
I
mean-
thought it would be.
Jesus. I thought I would rather buy. I thought the $20 ingots were bad deal, but at this rate, buying 2 of those is probably better value than buying one of these.
If you win a $25 gift card, and Mino and Kreese cannot win, but if you, who are listening, win a $25 gift card, then it's only $15 or $16. So maybe that's a little bit more in your price range. So yeah, figure that out. Or go spend it on booze or toilet paper. I mean, whatever you need, people. You can't really spend
I think since I skipped the Black 5-day sales, I'm probably going to pick up one of these bundles. It'll get me an extra book and an extra ingot so I can use them on Caius. And that's my excuse.
That's fair.
It'll also replace my costume buy for the month.
I really need armor books and armor ingots because I spend way too many books on armor. So yeah, I need that. Yeah.
And guys, if you're wondering why we're not talking about the kind of predatory nature of this, we spent a lot of time talking about it after the Thanksgiving episode, and I don't want to rehash that whole thing because my opinion really has not changed.
So
I'm honestly surprised you're buying one, Kreese.
Well,
because you were super against it the first time around, and that was a better deal.
I disagree that it's a better deal. I think this one's the more balanced deal. I was against it because I didn't like the nature of the way they dropped it on us with very little warning, and it's the first time they'd done something where you had a very limited amount of time to buy it. I've had months to stew on that now, and in anticipation, if they ran something like it again, I decided I probably would do it, and so that's the reason I'm going to do it this time.
That's fair.
Basically, it went from I had to choose within a couple days to I've had months to think about it now.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll buy the snow costume instead. Whatever.
So moving back to the Awakening wave. Do we need to cover Waka and Cyan level 70? Did we do that? We didn't do that, did we?
Let's just put it this way: Cyan's additional ability is better than his other abilities right now.
Yeah, that's about it. Well, Waka is coming back with a EX.
Yeah, exactly.
And so is Cyan later. But
Waka's coming
imagine
back
having
in
no
literally
foresight.
2 weeks. Do not pull for him now. He will get his EX plus the
imagine playing JP, loving Waka, finally seeing him come back. Like maybe a new player, I'll pull the 1535, and then the banner comes back with his EX and a new character as well on top of that. That is such a shit. I don't even know why they did this.
That's rough. But according to the podcast polls, there was 2 people who were going to pity it. I think they were lying, and everybody else was going to skip that banner. So I think Inkwelder and Eamon, you were not.
Oh, Mark,
truthful.
I think the number counts are screwed up because I don't think Materia Bot got them right. So look down at the bottom.
No, I did. I looked, and I see Inkwelder and Eamon both pressed that they were going to pity Cyan and Waka. So I am going to hold them to that. Use those, especially Inkwelder. You need to.
You can't pity them because there's no EX on the banner.
There's no EX on the banner. But in terms of the big banner, there were 5 people willing to pity.
Mark, those numbers are wrong. 20 people were going to pity.
22 people. Willing to pity, 8 people gems, 35 on tickets. I use tickets, and 4 skipping. So obviously a lot of people doing that. Of the people with lightning, 44 were going to purple lightning. Wow. 3 keeper EX, 12 realizer, 1 at 1 ingot, 1 at 2 ingots. Of the people with hope, 22 fully realizing him. Hope's all over the place. 1 keeping EX. 16 just realizing, 13 at 1 ingot, which he does operate well at 1 ingot, 4 at 2, and 22 at full realization. Shadow, 12 keeping it EX, 16 realizing him, 1 at 1 ingot, 2 at 2 ingots, and 18 at 3 ingots. So you can always check the podcast polls. Our friend Quetz of Materia Bot fame, he does that for us. And so jump on Discord and share what you're going to do. Yeah, they felt pity for the banner. There's 7 people. I saw Deck Lord in there too. So yeah, those 7 people. Yeah, they are. Is that DD Rocks is saying Waka synergy for 4 weeks in a row. Yes. Powerful.
And that's great for Waka fans, which Hitmonchan is one. He's been running Waka for the stupid Cosmos co-op with me all morning. It's torture. It is torture. He does nothing. Might as well HP attack rather than dark attack. Great. What is even the point? Oh, really cool. Really quick. Picky Mickey's asking, why do I buy costumes if I won't even gloss weapons? Because costumes show off how much money I spent. And glossing, see, costumes are an upgrade. They go up. Glossing means you're going down. You're disguising your EX plus and your burst weapons for your 4-star and your 3-star weapons. That's
you can't show how much better you are than somebody with a weapon gloss. You have
In
to
fact,
have a
they'll
costume.
look down on you by looking at the shitty bronze axe you put on your Leo, right? Like that's the opposite effect.
Look, Bart's only works if he has a Choco Blade equipped.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Oh wow. That's Sephiroth takes off clothes with what's with that costume? Garnet puts on clothes. That's not good.
That's true. That's an upgrade. Why does he even put clothes on? Waste of his money, really.
Yeah, what's going on here? Well, we did get a heretic. There's no raid for this one. There's some beatback challenges, so check your rewards every day for those co-ops. There is a 150 Cosmos co-op, level 150 Cosmos co-op. Gets tons of arts for all these 3 characters. If you purpled them like I did, and you need those arts because you didn't have arts for any of them, then this is a great co-op for you. So you can do that solo or do it with friends. Jump on Discord, do that. But there is a chaos fight for this battle called something Blockade of the Mechs, even though one of them is
Blockade
not a
of
mech.
the Ancient Mechs.
Yeah, even though one of them is not a mech at all. You fight.
Well, as Josh said, they're her blockade. The mechs are her blockade.
Oh, they're block. Even though that there's mechs after, they're on either end. In case you were going to start at wave 3, Garnet Harriet. Garnet is the real boss. She can come out of nothing and kill you. That Garnet mannequin has. So I did a run in this chaos fight. So you fight the.
Do we want to talk a little bit about the fight
yeah,
before we talk about what we used?
Yeah. I can run through the fight because I've done it 400 times.
Really quick, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Levantine in chat for saying that with Sephiroth's costume, it's empowering because you are paying to strip rather than getting paid to strip. You know, it's very different if the shoe is on the other foot there.
Yeah, so wave 1 is a Heretic Helldiver, a one boss. It is weak to lightning, absorbs holy and dark. Now, most of these bosses free themselves of debuffs at least twice, if not 3 times during the fight, at HP thresholds, usually 80, 50, and 30. They all have powerful HP attacks. They all are fairly fast, and they're pains in the ass. So you fight one of him, and he's got a chunk of HP. Then you go into the Heretic Lamia Queen, who is weak to or absorbs ice, so don't bring Shiva. Absorbs fire, don't bring Ifrit, but is weak to lightning. So obviously lightning is good on this. Beatrix is good on this. She has a Ramza and Garnet mannequin, and she can resummon them after you kill them. They don't have a ton of HP, but of course Ramza gives party buffs, and Garnet can just do tons of HP damage just from nothing, just as her actual character does. Yes, Macno on Dissidia Info, thank you for sharing that. He has a wonderful boss guide. Macno, without me looking, who did you write that, or did somebody else write that? And let's shout out who wrote that. Macnell, if you would just put that in chat and highlight it if you can, or just let me know and I can see your name.
I think it's Soul DFFOO.
Oh, Soul did that. So thank you to Soul DFFOO.
I think.
And check him out on Twitch and
Macnell.
YouTube. Of course, he's a big Lightning fan and was very, very good player too. So check him out. But we'll double check that. But do thecityinfo.com. They're doing boss guides for everybody. So that wave is particularly painful. Oh, that one was Macnell. So Macnell, good job. That one's particularly painful.
I mix it up then.
She can resummon the ads. They can all do HP damage. Of course, she can enchant one of your characters, even the female characters, because this is the queen. And then that goes into the final wave, which is 2 heritage golems. They absorb ice, holy, and dark, and they are not weak to lightning, but they are exceptionally fast. They have a special attack, I forget what it's called, that does massive HP damage. It's the recastability Iron Burst, which removes their own debuffs, framed included, removes for them from break, does a group magic attack, and then becomes even more powerful the more they go, and they get super fast. So it's a really painful fight if you don't have, healing, if you don't have evasion, if you don't have tanking. Obviously, lightning, shadow, and hope really do well for this, both because of the damage reduction, because of the damage done and because of the evasion. I did a full synergy run in less than 60 turns. They burned through it really well. I went back and we're going to do a TCC. Mikey, if you bring Aranea to anything, it's a good idea if you want to beat the content. So, yeah, Aranea is going to do real well in this one. She does real well in almost every chaos, but she's going to do real fine depending on how you... Yeah, she's busted. Aranea is super powerful. So, you can bring her and she'll do great, as many other great characters. So, I also went back, and I may record it as a TCC challenge, and did Ultimecia, Rosa, and Beatrix with Beatrix's defensive buffs and Ultimecia's AoE and regen with Rosa. They were able to beat it as well. The only problem is obviously they continue to remove our Ultimecia's defense down debuff, so that can be a pain in the butt. And they can just one-shot you, if you get bad RNG, especially with Garnet. She's the one that seems most dangerous. So the time I did it with that team, I used my friend and my summon the final wave, and I think that's, I had an impulse to try to use your friend to take care of the Lamia before she resummons, but I think it's better to save your summon and your friend to the final wave, because those mechs at the very end of their health span get so fast and recast so quickly, they could kill you really quickly. So it's better to kind of have some power there at the end. And of course, if you're not doing a TCC challenge, friend Aranea is going to really help you. But any of the, I think Galuf and Zach, Edge, Beatrix with his Edge with his lightning, Beatrix with her lightning and defensive powers, all of your kind of common support. So Mino, did you beat this one, and what did you use?
I used Hope because I wanted to get mileage out of him, and then I ran it with Leo and Vayne, which are my favorite couple right now. I try to run them on everything coming out, and they've beaten everything that's come out, because I guess the two of them together are just so great. I don't remember anything specific other than, wow, this must hurt if I don't have Hope. But I also don't run tanks, so I'm curious how others did, because tanks were a big pick for this one, right? I think Kreese wanted to ban Galuf and possibly Zach for this, because they might have trivialized the fight.
Zach and Galuf were banned. I know there was some talk about maybe banning like Edge or something, and we decided to leave him in. But yeah.
Well, the TCC... go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask Kreese this exact same thing. What were the TCC bans and the reasonings behind those? But if you want to walk it through, Mark, please.
Yeah, the TCC challenge right now is fairly light. It's no Aranea, friend Aranea, no Lightning, Hope, Shadow, Zach, or Galuf. You can bring Waka or Cyan. So in those, a lot of different runs that have already completed the TCC challenge. 8 finding some runs in there. A lot of Beatrix. I mean, Beatrix with her defensive ability, with her HP negation and her lightning. She's a really, really good unit for this. And Celeste, there's a Celeste run in there. But if you look, I mean, there's a Gao run in the regular call to arms. I already said 8, Galuf, Zach, Warrior of Light. So yeah, I mean, it definitely helps to have, you need a healer and a tank, if you want to get through it easily, or you need a defensive character and a healer. So, but yeah, if you bring EX, X-less synergy. So, but yeah, so there's lots of options, and we encourage you to do that on the call to arms. Now, you can submit any video you want to the call to arms, but if you want to participate in the TCC challenge, we'll share that next week. DD Rocks, you bring Waka. There is no, let me look at currently at the call to arms. Currently in the TCC challenge, I do not see a Waka or a Cyan. So if anybody can get this TCC challenge.
Why would you punish yourself like that?
Then we'll make a special. I don't know. Is there any Waka or Cyan in the actual call to arms total? Let me see if I can check this out.
Doubt it.
Oh, there's not. There's not a single run with a Waka or a Cyan. I'm very disappointed. I mean, at least
Is it
Waka.
possible?
Yeah, it's with
Possible?
Waka level 70.
I
You don't
mean,
think you
there's
could?
a Shadow solo, so I think it's
Yeah, I
possible
mean-
to carry them.
No, solos
Yeah.
are very different from carries. Solos are cutting
true.
out the dead weight
That's true.
so that you have a chance.
I think Waka. I think Waka's doable. You don't think like Waka, Hope, Aranea could do it? I mean, seriously, or even like Waka, Hope, Lightning. I mean, I think it's possible. Jin Lee, go test that out for us. Get back to us. So,
Just to put in my own thoughts for this chaos fight while we're still on the topic.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most restrictive chaos fights we've seen in a while. Debuffers are hurt or penalized substantially because of the removal of all debuffs multiple times during each wave. Elemental attackers, basically anyone who uses Holy Dark Shadow, Fire, or Ice is going to suffer severely, so a lot of recent characters are just unusable for that reason. Both Cecils, in fact, cannot be used for this fight. So that's part of the reason the TCC challenge, we decided to keep it relatively straightforward, because the fight itself restricts you so substantially. We didn't want to go too hard and basically remove all options.
yeah. So anybody, hey, I'll give a $25 gift card. If anybody who can there's no Ash runs, Harriet. I don't see a single Ash run. Well, let me not in the TCC challenge. Let me look in the thing if there's any Ash runs yet. Oh, there's one. So someone used Ash. Now I have to figure out who used Ash. So there is one Ash. It's not in the TCC challenge yet. So let me see if I can find where Ash is easily. There's a lot of runs already. As this wasn't the most challenge. So Zach, Yishtola, and Ash, and that was from the Sensational Ian. So Ian, thanks for showing Ash some love. So there you go, one Ash run. No Ash in the TCC challenge yet. So, but yeah, if you can do Ash,
the problem is
Sai,
that one of her
Waka,
abilities is absorbed by two.
it
of the
is
three
absorbed.
waves.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right. Anything else on this? Enjoy those co-ops and jump on Discord if you need to for that. Are we ready to move on? All right.
I think so.
Well, so as we get into host discussion, I am going to open the giveaway for four $25 gift cards. Now, I would prefer to do them on iTunes, Google Play, or PayPal. I mean, that would be my preferred method. So if you can receive an iTunes card, a Google Play card, or a PayPal of $25 from the United States, that is going to be how I can give them to you. So listen to instructions. Don't type anything yet. And after we have our discussion and we end the show, I will let you know the other ways you can enter besides these four. Remember, we're going to give away 14 total $25 gift cards. So, so give me a second. I'm going to set up the actual giveaway. The word to write is, let's do TCC 100. All right, TCC 100. We're not started yet, so I got to write it in here.
Are people spamming chat already?
Yep, don't
Hold on,
spam stat yet. Don't. Okay, now I guess you can.
Not yet, guys. Oh, okay. Now we're good. Okay.
Yes, now you should be able to go. Yep, now you should be able to go.
And host discussion while this is going on, right?
Yes. So yeah, Kreese, if you have some discussions, TCC 100, that is how to enter TCC 100. TCC 100. Yep, you don't need to type exclamation point. TCC 100. TCC 100.
Okay. So, first one, we've been sitting on this question for a while. Cyrus wants to know, now that we are past episode 100, what do the hosts wish for for the upcoming episodes? What are we looking forward to in the future?
What are we
A
looking
Square
forward to?
Enix sponsorship.
Well, we already got one of those.
Well,
you mean
but
like official?
full time?
No, I was
Like, give us all the weapons for science so we can review them better. And I'll hype up every character. You give me the full kit to play with.
Yeah, well, we'll take any sponsors if Coca-Cola and like PepsiCo, Irish Moonshine. Anybody wants to sponsor us, feel free. So, yep, feel free. It is TCC 100 to enter the drawing in, and we'll keep it up for a few minutes. TCC 100. So,
don't even joke about the Raid Shadow Legend sponsor. I think that's the one we would turn down.
Oh no, I would totally. I would totally. If Raid Shadow Legends gave us money to run ads, this podcast is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
Now let's not talk about it at all.
I'm looking forward to the Burst era. I'm looking forward to some of the creative things that people do in that time. I'm just looking forward to continuing to talk about this game and seeing where it grows and how it adjusts and how GL is different from Japan. So, I don't necessarily have any great aspirations or plans, but glad to keep doing it.
I'm looking forward to just keeping the podcast going and continuing to grow our fan base and our viewer base.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna.
Okay, a new player. Or wait, no, never mind. Wrong question. Atomic asks, at this point in Chaos, how do the hosts now feel about spheres and their relevance? Are they critically important or effortless afterthought? I can tell you right now that I have not used a single sphere still. They're still sitting in my inventory.
What jerk asked that question?
Spheres are stupid.
What
spheres,
jerk asked that question?
We mentioned the name, right? Yeah. But thank you for the question, Atomic.
I'm sure they're just calling me out because of my terrible sphere choices.
We have to talk about that. Hey, Mark, how did you use your spheres lately?
Shut up.
No, please, it's a good story. We need to record it.
It's not a good story because I don't read. That's the problem. So I was.
Can you just tell the last two spheres? What did you do with them?
So the last two spheres that I used were on X-Death. If you don't know, I famously replaced Squall Sphere with another A Sphere accidentally. But yes, so I put X-Death Sphere on himself, which is fine. And then I read Irving's Sphere, and there's a reason I hadn't used Irving's E Sphere. Raises own, and I read it as attack by 15% for 6 turns when inflicting a debuff. I'm like, oh, well, that's perfect for X-Death, except it's ranged attack, and X-Death doesn't do ranged attack. So now X-Death has a beautiful E-Sphere that does absolutely nothing for him, and I will have to remove it with materials. I mean, it's X-Death, so who really cares? But
remind me what the Squall story was?
Well, so I was putting Squall's sphere on him, and I was going to put another A sphere on Squall, and instead of putting it in slot 2, I put it in slot A and overwrote the sphere, and so destroyed that sphere. So I don't have now. I do have an extra EX for Squall, so I can get it back one day if I really want to. So yes, so I do not. Spheres and me do not really go well together. I've not used many besides that.
Spheres are stupid. I don't know if they can improve on this, but I know in JP at least you can forge generic spheres, so that's because they're easier to get and forge. It's easier to just slap them onto people for small bonuses. That feels good. The fact that some of these spheres are so tied to MLBing 3-3ing an EX plus, they're so expensive to get that people are having a hard time to part with them for such a little bonus. They should, theoretically, I get it, they should be a bonus. Thanks for 3-3ing this character. Here's your reward. A little boost you could slap on anyone else. But because they're so rare, it's hard. I want to be, I'm never going to be the biggest gem hoarder or ticket hoarder in our circle, but I'm hoping to be the biggest sphere hoarder. And honestly, I forgot spheres existed until this question was asked. So, Kreese, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I still have not used a single sphere either, so I am hoarding them for now until I feel I need to use them.
Well, it looks like everyone has entered, so I'm going to close the giveaway. Closing the giveaway. And I think it should be closed now. So let me see if we can do this.
Ooh, this is the spicy question. Let's do this
Yeah.
while Mark
Please.
finishes the giveaway. Parsnippins asks, what character or characters do you think have been oversold on the podcast in the past?
Oversold.
I can't think of any. My reviews are perfect. Can you?
Except for those times you really shit on characters that turned out fine.
Right, but oversold. Help me out here. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Do you guys? Can you guys think of anything?
How about when Tidus got his EX? How much did you guys sell him?
I undersold Tidus when he got his 35. So I don't think
I got it.
Oversold.
We oversold Ash because she's always been shit. Let's be honest.
You mean in the 35 CP era and the EX era?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're always like, Ash can be pretty interesting if you build around, Fizz attack up and magic attack up. I don't think anyone did ever. I don't think anyone ever championed Ash, and we have a Laguna champion for God's sake.
True Sane is saying that we oversold Cosmos Noctis. I disagree. I used Cosmos Noctis until Chaos.
Same. I used Noctis till I had more fun with Noctis over Vayne for the entirety of Cosmos. He might not have been your cup of tea, but I don't think we oversold that.
So you can think of it. So Small Brain 87, Reaver Liam, Music Drake, and ALFOD or Alfodifo. You have all won a $25 gift card. So claim that. Yep. I believe it's ! Claim. Message me, whisper to me, and we will connect sometime here in the next couple of days and let me know what would be the best way to get the money to you. $25 for each of you. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank Cyrus, Minion, and Anthony, and our subs for allowing us to give that away. Now, that was just 4 of 14. So if you did not win tonight, no problem. Hold on. There are other ways you can win. So before we do that, any other questions that we want to cover tonight? But I will tell you.
Hang on. Before we move on, chat is saying multiple people are saying I oversold Lulu by calling her strong. At first, I thought, wasn't that the Square Enix sponsored
stream
episode? But if it wasn't, I just said Eamon just used her to carry Seymour across the finish line of our last chapter. So if that's not lasting power, I don't know what is. I'm not saying she was top meta, but I'm saying people are still using her literally to this day to force people into fights that they have no business in being in. So I'll stand by Lulu. And the other one people are saying we oversold was King. I don't know. I got a lot of use out of King personally, to be honest. And I think Arrow did too. Arrow needs to get in here and defend herself. But I think King definitely lasted more than a month near the top of the DPS list. I'm going to stand by that. We still mention King to this day.
Oh, King's awesome. King's great.
Yeah, I disagree with both of those statements, but please throw more. Yeah, thank you, chat. Everyone's saying King is great. That's a lot of Kings.
The next question comes from Necklord, who asks, what is the oldest weapon still in your inventory? I just checked for myself. I'm still sitting on a non-MLB Steiner 15 CP. It's been in my inventory since probably the start of the game.
Oldest,
can you sort by date?
Yeah, sort by obtained.
You can sort by obtained, yes.
Let me do that.
So the oldest is, how would that work? Lightning's 35? Why do I still have Lightning's 35? Lightning's 35
Cloudbuster Sword NT. That's mine's is Cloudbuster Sword NT. I think I installed the game and redeemed that immediately.
Yeah, mine is Lightning's 35, which I probably will sell. now that I see that I have not sold it. So besides that, it will be Papa Lamo. He will be because I don't have his EX. So that'll be the oldest one. Yeah. Any others?
All right.
Okay, one last question. We do have two questions left, but I think the Dark Demons question about the gigantic tokens can wait a little longer.
Yeah.
Johnny Raz asks, as a newer player, what should he or she be using their SP for in the next couple weeks? My suggestion is finish getting your summons to level 20, the ones that have ultimate summons and summon boards available, and then start doing the summon board grinding. Board grinding is definitely the best SP spender in general, in my opinion.
For a brand new player, I recommend farming orbs. Honestly, I think for new players, with all the stuff they pull nowadays, they run out of orbs fast. I can't tell you how many new players I see saying, what's the best way to farm orbs? So I don't know if people agree, but I think they should use the SP for the carbuncle, get those orbs, and then after that...
I'd argue that the better source of orbs right now is the Heretic Co-op. If you run the Cosmos, once you get the time-limited rewards, you get so many tokens per run.
That's fair.
That you can buy a lot of orbs, and that will definitely be a better time investment for them, especially because you continue to get tokens even if you don't have any bells left.
Yeah. The next option is artifacts, or if you agree with Kreese and it makes sense, farming the artifact tokens probably the best use. And then boards are probably a last priority. Right now, it's not like there's a limited run. There's not a SP bonus for summon boards, and we've got Super Synergy coming in 2 weeks, which makes it easier to farm all boards with all characters. So I'd put that last priority. Mark?
I was doing something else with the giveaways. So I'm not even.
Oh, sorry.
Sure,
do you want us to cover for you?
I'm not even sure what the question was, but because I was reading Dreamy's question. So if we're done with that, can we answer Dreamy's question real quick?
Sure. Who wants to read it?
Yeah.
Kreese, for consistency.
Last Dreamy asks, with Japanese delays and the rhythm slowing down, how do you feel about GL potentially catching up and us having less foresight for future LD weapons? Honestly, we're still so far behind that we're always going to have the benefit of foresight unless we get very, very close in their schedule, like within a month of it, because we'll at least have time to see, okay, this weapon popped out. What are players feeling about it after a week or two of running it, and how is it working out of synergy, that sort of thing. We'll always have some benefit of foresight and knowing if they immediately get crushed or immediately kicked out of the meta because someone just does their job better almost immediately.
Call out.
Obviously, we lose some of the foresight of there being, if we were to catch up that much, which I don't think will ever happen. We're still months and months and months behind them. But if we were to catch up, so we're only a month behind, we wouldn't have the same foresight of knowing, oh, this character is going to be invalidated in a month's time, but we'll have still insight on how useful they are.
To summarize, foresight good for players, bad for devs. If they speed it up, that's good for them. More impulse pulls happened to Kingdom Hearts mobile game. They caught the gap of a year.
Yeah.
Very, very fucking fast. And then all of a sudden, there were no more pull guides and nobody knew what to do. And impulse control just took over. So for devs, the best thing to do is reduce the gap. But I think they've already said that's a lot of work. If they keep trying for it, great. But the more foresight we have, honestly, the better we have. People right now, every day, people are asking, who do we pull for? Hell, I see people go to JP General on main court every day. Newest character. 50 people are asking, is this character good? Yep. And then, of course, the response they get is, I don't know, try it out for yourself. So, and foresight is only good for us. People who want to be surprised, don't do research then.
I'll also point out that we're now, because of the Japanese schedule delays, we're no longer seeing a character's rework an LD on their last chapter before we get their event. So we're losing some of that foresight we have of, well, is the character going to be so amazing in the future that you can skip them now, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
is it going to be worth more going for their LD banner rather than getting their EX plus now and having to repull later?
that's what we're losing right now. We're losing the what's their LD going to be. But personally for me, yeah, if a character's good now, I want to use them now. Who cares what their LD is? If their LD is good later, I'll get it later. If it's not, then fine, I'll skip. My concern would be if we get within like 2 to 3 months and maybe less than 3 months, less than 2 months, then it becomes a little bit, okay, how long is this? I mean, for the most part, characters are lasting 1 or 2 months. So as long as we have 1 or 2 months of headway, we're going to have more than enough time to understand. So we're not quite there yet. Now we will, we'll bridge that gap a little bit because they're not getting new content, but they just, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but they just got Firion last night. I'm wearing my Firion shirt. So, I mean, they're still getting some new content. Hey, thank you. We're getting towards the end of the thing. I need to talk about the rest of the giveaway. So we have 10 gift cards to give away. I got to remember exactly how we're giving away each of them here. Let me pull up this. I should have had it pulled up earlier. So there are 10 additional. We gave away 4. Congratulations to the 4 that received a gift card. We are going to give 4 away on Discord. So you need to join our Discord, and there is a giveaway channel. So if you go into that giveaway channel under the TCC Discord, and let me throw the invite in there so everybody knows what the invite is. If you go to the Discord, pop that in there. You can go on our website, TCC Podcast, and find that, or it will be in the show notes as well, whether you listen to podcast or YouTube. And there is under podcast, there's a giveaway episode 100. If you go to that and type TCC 100, don't do anything else, just TCC 100, then you will be entered into that. I'm going to give away 4 $25 gift cards on Discord. I'm not going to do it immediately. I'll give you some time to do it because I want to get this out to the podcast audience. I want to get this out to the YouTube audience, Twitch video on demand. So it's going to be here over the weekend, and then sometime next week we'll pull. I'm going to give 2 away for people who share and like on Facebook and Twitter. So every week we have a Twitter account, TCC Podcast. We're on Facebook, the Crystal Chronicles. So if you take episode 100, I share it on Twitter. I share it on Facebook. If you like it and share it, or like it and retweet it, you will enter into your own drawing. Now, this is in addition to the 4 Discord. So everyone who just does Twitter and Facebook, like and share, they are going to get entered into their own pool. That's unique from the Discord ones. So 2 $25 gift cards with that. If you are a Twitch sub, so if you are a sub as of tonight, I'm going to take a screenshot of the list. I actually download the list. I'm going to download the list tonight, and then I'll wait a few days. And if you have subbed, if you're listening like, oh, I can do an Amazon Prime sub to Twitch, if you do that over the next few days, if you're on that list, you're going to be included in your own drawing, just that list, for 2 additional gift cards. And YouTube, trying to build our YouTube audience a little bit. We have a lot of people watching on YouTube. If you like us on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube and comment on episode 100. So I share episode 100 on YouTube. If you like, sub, and comment on YouTube, you will get the chance to enter into another 2 drawings. So you got that. 4 on Discord, 2 for Twitter, Facebook, 2 for Twitch, and 2 for YouTube. That is 10 total $25 gift cards. So plenty of chances to win, to be involved in our community during the week. I'm going to share that here in chat as well. Those are the different ways to win. Thank you, CSAM, for the bits. Kenyon, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. So you can join our Discord and comment on the giveaway channel. You can join Twitch and sub on Twitch. That's another way to do it. You can like and share on Facebook or Twitter. And thank you, MVK15, for this Prime sub. Or you can comment, like, and subscribe on YouTube. Those are all different ways to win $25 gift cards. Thank you, Resfoina, for the tier 1 sub. Yes, thank you. Check out Resfoina. She's an awesome content creator on on Twitch and on YouTube. So was that invite? That's the invite link. So that's your invitation. So you tap on that and get in there. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Um, yeah. Oh, okay. So looking ahead, so and you can ask me throughout the week. I'll be on Discord, so you can check me out here there. But let's look ahead and talk about what's coming. We have, because we have a calendar, Poor MLC, Radiant White Mage on the 3rd, Caius event on the 7th, Dimensions and Entropy Tier 10 on the 7th, World of Illusions Ultimate Diablos on the 12th, Sync LC with Snow on the 17th, Jack's event on the, mystery character on the 21st.
Mysterious character on the 21st.
Mysterious character. I don't know. What's he look like? I could have
Josh said young Sephiroth. So
Young
if we don't
Sephiroth,
get a young
yes.
Sephiroth,
Young Sephiroth.
I'm going to fucking sue.
Young Sephiroth event on the 21st, and then hopefully the next community stream on the 25th. So, hey, friends, you can check out our apparel shop, our website, tccpodcast.com, Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Want to shout out to all of our awesome subs, everybody who's subbed tonight. Thank you, everybody who's following, everyone who's been here with us. Thank you to the Tomberry Troop. Check out tomberrytroop.com. The Tomberry Troops, Inkwelder, Dreamy, Teleute, Vane Novus. They're just great guys, great group. Macnol's website. Macnol, who does the call to arms, is decidiainfo.com. It's very cool. Been doing a lot of great work. But thanks to Kreese and Mino for being here every week with me. Thanks to our mod team, Erolai, Inkwelder, J.A, Jinli, Macnol, Quetz, Shara, and Strafe. Thanks to our design team, Dreamy, who did our intro video, Jin Lee, who does our backgrounds and our emotes, Hate13, who did our narration. And again, thank you to our founder, Pierre, for starting this whole train and being with us all this time. So you go check out my little video with him. Yeah, so episode 200 type. And thank you again, everybody. Have a great week. Do check out all of the, and I'll put that in the podcast announcements, all the different ways you can enter and play to get these 10 $25 gift cards. And I want to thank Minyen, Anthony, and Cyrus for helping with that, and all of our Twitch subs for helping with that so that we can get back to you. But thank you all. It's been a great week. We'll catch you next week, Thursday, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We do it live, but it's on the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, on YouTube, on Twitch, video on demand. Until next week, hey, best of luck on your free pulls, and goodbye.